Hello, Worthing Tabernacle.
Hello from sunny Arizona.
Hi guys, it's Katie and Garrett Moore. We miss you so much. We're so excited that we get to be doing this. When Rich reached out to us, we just were elated. We've been following from afar and seeing just the way that you guys have been handling this whole season, keeping each other encouraged and digging into the Word, even when you can't gather or aren't there in person and strong in numbers. It's been encouraging for us to be a part of that with you guys, even from 5,000 miles away.
Yeah.
And so now we get to tangibly invest in all of you and ourselves and read the Word together. And we're incredibly excited to do that with you guys. We hope that you're doing well. We praying for you guys. We just think so fondly of our time that we got to spend with you all and talk about you constantly. I'm sure our friends are tired of hearing of all these crazy Brits and all the stories that we have for them.
Yeah.
But it just made such an impact in our lives.
We actually bought this painting above us because it reminded us of downtown Worthing and the rain and us under an umbrella and the pretty lights and everything. And so we're just so encouraged by everything that's happening over there. We wanted to let you guys know we love all the updates. Continue sending them through all of the exciting things. We've rejoiced with you guys through the losses and through the trials that you guys have come up to. We have cried and we have prayed for you guys. So know that even though we're gone in distance, our hearts are very, very much with you guys, and we are still very, very much a part of the Worthing family. Some updates for you guys. We have a fur baby who might come in and disrupt many points. We are actually bringing a baby home in 11 weeks. So
September 20th, guys.
That's right. Woohoo!
Mark your calendars. A baby Moore is entering the world.
That's right. We don't know a middle name yet, but we're gonna Zion Moore is what we're thinking. It's gonna be a boy.
Yeah, Zion is a strong name.
Yeah, God's promise, and that I think is so appropriate for just our walk with God that we've experienced so far this last year, where we've come up against a lot of walls and through a lot of trials. This last year where God has been so faithful and we've had to really rest in God's promises. And I think that also ties into what we're going to be talking to you guys about today from Genesis 22.
Yeah, we're in our third year here at Grand Canyon University, and we have just fallen in love with the community. We have found ourselves a really great home here, and so we're doing well through the ups and the downs. God has been faithful to us and just really woven us into a good group of friends and people to share life with here. And so please, we're still exactly where we are. Come and visit us. A few of you have, and it has been just such a good time getting to show you the stomping grounds around here and see a little bit of what we call the Southwest in America.
That's right.
Without further ado, let's get into God's Word. We're going to be reading Genesis 22. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but please feel free to dig into that chapter. There's so much to be pulled out and taken away from within Genesis 22. It's a heavy chapter. It's sobering. It's a very stark reminder of idols that could be in our lives and at the forefront, things that we might be holding on to that we need to sacrifice to God in obedience to Him. And so I'm going to pick up in verse 4. On the third day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place from afar. Then Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkeys. I and the boy will go over there and worship and come again to you." And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So they went both of them together. And Isaac said to his father Abraham, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, son." And he said, "Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham said, "God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son." So they went both of them together. When they came to the place of which God had told them. Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. I'm going to skip over to verse 15. And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, because you have done this and not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven and as the sand that is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham lived at Beersheba. So we've chosen to share part of Genesis 22 with you guys, just because we are experiencing a season of transition, and we're experiencing, I'm sure, it feels like the whole world is in an experience of transition right now. We're sort of very unsure of what the future might hold. But our heart is wanting to be obedient to God no matter what the mystery up ahead holds for us. And so while this passage can be frightening and stark and quite absurd to us at times, it's such a good reminder of what our idols are in our lives, of what we have put in place of our worship to the Lord, of what we might hold as our own, but it's not. It's from God, and everything has been given to us, all blessings on earth. And so we hold them loosely, praising God for his bestowment on us with those things. And that includes, the things we might think are most dear to us. And so we have to realize that God is the one who is blessing us, and God is the one who is giving to us. And so they're his, to which we return. And so we hold those things loosely, not as idols, but as reminders of God's blessings to our lives.
Mm-hmm. And I think also this is a great reminder of when we encounter trials. You think of the valleys. There's so many words for it, right? A wall, a valley, a trial. When you think of all you English majors, learning about the hero's journey, right? You have this whole thing, and then there's an obstacle that ultimately is the climax of the story. That's the hardest part of the story, where the hero might fail, where he needs a helper along the way, but ultimately he comes out the other side a changed human. And it's trials like this where we're stripped of our idols, maybe ones that we know of, maybe ones that we don't recognize, that really God's glory is shown through us. And that really, when we come out the other side of these trials, we are made into new people. It's not just, there's this writer who said, I spent 3 years as a 2-year-old Christian. And I thought that was such an interesting way of saying it, where he said, he had been a Christian for 5 years, but he was stuck as a 2-year-old Christian because every time a trial came, he would be like, nope, and he would run away from it. But we need to go through these trials. We need to go through these experiences with the Lord where he gets to refine us, through that refining fire, wipe away our iniquities, wipe away our sin that maybe we don't even recognize is there, so that we can ultimately grow, to move from formula and milk to soft foods to harder foods, and to grow and develop and to mature in our walk, and not just stay that 2-year-old Christian for 5 years. And so I think a really great question to think about as we reflect on this time is, how do you hear the words from verse 2? Take your son, your only son, whom you love, and sacrifice him. Like, what is your response to that? And if it's not your son, replace something that's important to you. Replace like your utmost item, person, anything. Put it in there. And how would that feel? And really talk through God with that. Are you completely hands open with the Lord? Or are there certain things where you're like holding on? Or maybe you're completely like this. And that's a total place to start. But how are we when we come before the Lord through trials? And how are we when the Lord calls us to maybe release something to him that's like very, very important to us?
Yeah, so good. Thank you guys for listening. We hope that this is encouraging to you. We understand these are heavy things to wrestle with, but you're not wrestling alone. You're wrestling with a family of Christians and followers of God. And so wrestle with God and wrestle as you discuss and encourage one another through his word and what he's been teaching you. So that's a little piece of what we're currently wrestling with, and he's teaching us, and we hope that it was a blessing to you today. Thank you guys. We miss you. We love you.
Love you so much.
Adios.